Alright, so I am me pacho sisi am no kase no ukopim wo eye Baumia camp in the NPP and afin so no Alancash or no breaking away from NPP so decide that Akuffo movement for change and pacho there is a banter bi ekoso ni nyina ne say baako a file eye petition officially complaint e de call OSP as say ye investigate the other one enso him say ono so e twa ne de e say ono so bekwa me investigate the okoye do di kan ko make report so aye petition ni counter petition e na ekoso e wo ni nyina ne say Baumia started the presidential campaign no okoka nsem bi e wo video mu a na o chim say ono so boa NPP party no into no in a video bi a yedi kan hu pen no ya ye ho stories e dia ma where Baumia say ono so etimi sponsor party ne pen with sika ene cars ahodo some 300 pickups bi ni ade abusia that 300 pickups ensem na okan ye no ena Solomon Owusu a ono eye movement for change omu senior communicator meka Alan Cash etimi betu just say by the time a video no ba bonten na ko expect say the OSP any yoku etimi efa Baumia no mutimi investigating no for the source of fund etimi ma etimi to us cars no because according to Solomon Owusu calculations ne kire me yet say 300 pickups no roughly we are rough estimator and nam around $18 million emu ho eno ni sika na Baumia be hia e de secure 300 pickups e de ama NPP party ni say omo entimi emfendi juma so Solomon Owusu etimi emeyete asese say o compare Baumia ni sika wonya as vice president eni no dwumadie nyina it is very difficult say politician ase bi kululu ene ketase hye bi ni wabrabo mu e be difficult so betimi nya $18 million etimi e de ato 300 pickups e de ache so ebra asa video ni ba na Solomon Owusu emeki that case no ebusia on the 15th of September 2025 Solomon Owusu etimi file official complaint and answer petition e de akoma special prosecutor ebusia letter no e na wo on the screen now briefly ebra letter no ko e no enene miracles aboaje so him say the reason I want the agina so a report to Baumia to OSP no Baumia so boys including or not miracles aboaje they will take inspiration from this petition no more so a petition OSP as say ono so investigate Alan Cash because so omo claim say Baumia esika ene na ade no suspicious so betimi nya say esika ndi ato 300 pickups there then it is equally suspicious for Alan Cash or non so be a mere minister for him to also get sika to fund a political campaign for president enti omo so ebetimi a petition OSP now Solomon Owusu letter no omo je eniema miensa me patro the letter is dated on the 15th September 2025 subject was say request for investigation into alleged corruption, illicit enrichment, and breaches of Ghana's political financing laws by Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. And a letter, and almost 3 reasons. Was say a grounds for reasonable suspicion. 1, the source of funds, no OSP source of fund or they procure those 300 pickups, no almost a suspect say illegitimate into OSP again, almost suspected possible abuse of public office. And I feel no potential breach of political financing and anti-corruption laws. And no any letter on basis.
You know the vice president's salary. There are laws that regulate political parties. The Political Parties Act of 2005-74. You also know that foreigners are not supposed to partake in fundraising activities of our country. So all that we are saying is that the former vice president, who willingly told us that he single-handedly, emphasis mine, donated this amount, it's incumbent upon him to go to the OSP and then explain to him how he came by the 300 pickups. That shouldn't be my problem. That should be his problem.
Okay. But I mean, there are other people who have made similar comment as to their funding political parties. Why him alone? Or his is a bit different?
Kwadwo? Have you heard any political actor openly come out to say he has donated 300 pickups?
Can't readily recall, but I've heard people
say.
So
then we don't have to. You see, my brother, don't let us veer into other areas. Here is a former vice president who, under no pressure, he was not being questioned by journalists, he was not being interviewed by anybody. He willingly gave us this information. We have been complaining in this country that we do not know donors to our political activities. Now the vice president comes out to say he donated 300 plus pickups to a campaign. And as a citizen of this country, mind you, I'm not saying he's guilty. I have not pronounced him guilty. I am only saying that he should go and explain how he managed to buy the 300 pickers. I think you should rather be concerned as a Ghanaian.
I'm concerned, but also intent is one thing that we need to establish as well, not so.
Which intent?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the questions I am, so that we
I'm
all
a Ghanaian
are on the same level.
that I am interested in people safeguarding my tax revenue.
Okay.
So this must concern you, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
You have been speaking about corruption, about the way people dissipate our public funds. Someone comes in to make a definitive statement, and not less a person than the former vice president. And so, if I petition, you must be concerned as to how you will follow and make sure. And let me say that I am going to follow together with all the petitioners this petition to the letter.
Okay.
So that we establish the veracity of his claims.
So the OSP has received this petition, right?
Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
it's stamped.
Okay.
We took it to the OSP at exactly 11:35 this morning.
So we Solomon so no e file petition ne de ebro wie e na busia Miracle Sabwajo no so Baumia aid and the spokesperson for the Baumia's campaign. Etimichim say no more cordia any na say omo ate what they say omo we can make that decision no. Na say OSP etimi start investigate Baumia there. Then Alan Cash also emboa no say or also explanations to do. Enti Alan Cash also and the boys emwo ho no match the reason why Alan Cash as a minister also timinya sika around the country a campaigning for president. Meanwhile, Nanka according to Miracle Sabwaji James or Alan Cash also sika winya as minister of state enka the campaign or started within 2 regions at 2 regional tours panel. Asempa utimi exhausting sika nyina NCC ni sika ni timi de no 16 regions no. But so no Alan Cash so etimi akọ 16 regions na still or da so ho Obra the sika sem da so gina ho a almost e was suspicions e wo.
I believe the petition was submitted to the OSP. We haven't seen it yet. When we eventually receive it, we'll look into it and understand what the issues are, and then I'm sure the OSP will have its processes, and I'm sure Dr. Mahmoud Bamia will respond accordingly.
The basic point is about what was the source of funding. 18 million. I mean, per his analysis there.
I'm sure that's why. I'm sure that's why he's submitted a petition. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
So that will be dealt with.
No, but you are with the team. You should be able to tell us how you funded that.
I'm saying that how does politicians and political parties fund their activities? I was MC in Equiapem North. Whilst I was MC in Equiapem North, if I'm going to run for any political activity, there are several ways we raise funds. Individuals contribute towards it. Even in my constituency, Equiapem North, when the party is going into an election, I go to my constituency and make donations. When I'm going to make the donations, I come to friends, I come to families, I come to acquaintances, and I mobilize resources. That's one of the key requirements of a politician worth its salt. So, I mean, like you said, sometimes the intent is also very important. Because if the intent is not otherwise, I don't think it's a big deal. But legitimately so, like you said, he says he is interested in knowing how a politician and a vice president is able to mobilize such resources. I'm sure once the OSP does what he has to do, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia would clearly deal with it. But I don't think it's something that is such a big deal. It is one of the easiest things for a politician worth its salt to be able to do, to mobilize resources. You know, I mean,
but those mobilizations are governed by laws.
Yes.
Which, of course, he pointed out that foreign nationals are not supposed to be contributing.
Yes, why? Is it only foreign?
So you need
is
to
it only foreign?
How you were able to raise those monies.
Exactly, and that's the point. So that's the whole essence, isn't it?
Yes.
So that will be done.
But Ghanaians are listening to you.
No, but he didn't send a petition. He sent a petition to the OSP, isn't the case?
I've
given you an indication. Go online. If you go online right now and you Google, there's several instances, several times where during the campaign we raise funds. And these funds, some of them, in fact, some of the donations that were even made to the campaign were made public by the individuals and the groups and organizations who contributed. So for me, apart from the fact that every citizen has that right to be able to, put out such petitions, I don't think there's anything necessarily alarming in here. Raising 300 pickups, 500 pickups, I can do that. I can mobilize it from amongst my friends and acquaintances. It is something that a politician worth its salt should be able to do. We organize, fundraising. Now we have short codes that we use to raise funds. We have fundraising dinners. We open desk in campaign offices to raise funds for contributions from individuals, all the way from the polling station to the highest level. So I don't really see the extraordinary scenario in here, but like he rightly said, it is within his right as a citizen. He wants answers and he will be given the answers.
Okay, stay with me. Solomon, you had the director of comms for the campaign team there, that they raise funds, and so these are issues that are within the domain of the presidential candidate to do.
So the beauty of it is that I did not petition the director of communication of the Mahama campaign. I took the matter to the OSP, and the media must be very much interested in this matter. You have been speaking about corruption.
We're very much interested.
It shouldn't have been my fight, or the movement's fight, or Afia Dankwa's fight, or Ebo's fight, or Hobson's fight, or Nanaya's fight, or anybody. It should have been the fight of Joy FM. Immediately, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made that statement. But nevertheless, we have decided to play our role as patriotic citizens.
Okay.
And so he must go to the OSP. At this stage, nobody has, as it were, said that this one is guilty or not. But we believe that the OSP must go into the matter and make the findings public. It's not going to be business as usual. It's not going to be business as usual.
Will you do same for all candidates in the last election, including member of parliament aspirant?
As a matter of fact, there are a series of petitions that are going to follow. We see the system is not busy enough. We need to help this country to revive. We are dying slowly. People are being treated with impunity in this country. And so there are a series of petitions that are going to follow. Remember, Brian Agyapong also said that he gave $1,500 to each constituency executive in the Eastern region. Remember, Kennedy Agyapong has been making a lot of noise. Now we understand the sales of Educhum has also arrived. A lot of things are in the pipeline. And then we, as a movement for change, that wants to change the dynamism in politics in this country, will lead this onslaught.
But Solomon, the question that people will be asking is, the names you mentioned put out some of these issues earlier, but you're taking on the vice. That's why people will be asking, why him first? Because some other people made their comment earlier on. For example, in 2019, presidential candidate of the NDC, John Mahama, handed over some 20 vehicles to the national chairman of the NDC to help enhance the operational capacity of the party's regional offices. Nissan pickup vehicles. So question is, why not then and now? Yeah.
Don't let us digress into areas that will not help this discourse. A former vice president goes to a campaign, make a bold statement, a petition on it. I believe that our discussions must be centered on it. You quoting me to 2019 about John Mahama receiving pickups. If you were in the know, why did he not petition? Then you would have done a great service to this country.
Oh, I'm asking you because you are petitioning against someone.
So I have petitioned.
That's what I'm asking.
That is current. If you know of John Mahama's own petition, that is why you are there.
Okay, anyway, now which part of the Political Parties Act, I'm looking for education, Political Parties Act allows such a petition and mandates the OSP to audit individual candidates instead of political parties?
You see, first of all, I have petitioned the OSP. I cannot be a petitioner and a judge in my own court. If I go to the relevant laws, it will still not make any sense to anybody. That is why I have sent the matter to the OSP. He's going to be the arbiter in this matter. If you ask me to quote the relevant laws, if I quote, what next? We are not going to try this whole petition on air. That is why I've gone to the appropriate authority. You began by asking me the intent. You began by asking me why him alone. You go on to say which relevant. No, do not let us go into that realm.
Well, but there's no expiry to crime, right?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, I'm saying that there's no expiry to crime.
So you can, the one that you have information, and you have detailed information about your mama, can you pass it on to me? Tomorrow I'll go to the OSP.
But I'm asking, I mean, which part of the OSP's law, and or which law asks the OSP to audit political presidential candidate instead of political parties? I want to be educated on that.
You see, I have already told you. If the OSP is that mindful that there is no relevant provision in his laws to deal with this, he would amply say it and dismiss the matter. So we are not going to try the matter on air.
But
there are enough provisions that would deal with this. In fact, we stated a lot of it in our petition that you read.
No, but I want the exact provision that says that you have to investigate
or
audit individual individual candidate and not political parties. I want education, sir.
Is there?
I'm just looking for education. That's why I'm asking that. Which law says that investigate or audit presidential candidate and not the political parties as entities?
So here is the case. The vice president, the former vice president, made a personal statement. Is that not the case? He did not say that the NPP donated 300 pickups. He said he single-handedly. You understand? The OSP's mandate is to be able to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses, perceived ones. And I'm saying that the figures involved are beyond my human comprehension. So they should go into it. Is it too much?
But yeah, it's not. But you need to have grounds.
Are you not interested in the corruption?
I'm very much interested, and that's why we're having this conversation.
But if you are interested, the way, man, as if you are not interested, you are thinking about intent, you are thinking about motive, you are thinking about which law. When I have gone to the appropriate authority.
The special prosecutor law that you quote, section 2C, that you wrote, says empowers the OSP to investigate and prosecute corruption and corruption-related offenses committed by public officers and politically exposed persons, including the abuse of office for personal or partisan benefit. Yes. Section 3 authorizes the OSP to act upon credible complaint or reasonable suspicion, both of which are present. So yours is that you have reasonable suspicion of the vice president action that possibly there could have been corruption here.
Absolutely.
Anyway, okay. Let me bring in Dennis Miracles about Dennis. So I mean, if you listen to his explanations there, he says this was a public officer, so he has to just answer to us how he was able to raise those monies, 18 million in the least, to purchase these vehicles.
I mean, you've asked all the relevant questions, and I don't know why he gets agitated when you are also asking questions related to the same law that he's supposedly standing on. Like I said, he sent a petition. We'll deal with it. When eventually we receive it, we don't even know because we haven't even seen anything. It might be true, it might not be true. I suppose that's Solomon from Movement for Change, isn't it?
Sure.
And like he said, he probably says he's not too busy. And so he's probably trying to get busy himself and get others also busy. I mean, these are his own words. That's notwithstanding.
Have you ever presented auditor report?
No, I don't work for the party.
I mean the political party.
No, I'm saying that I'm not an administrator at the party's office.
But you're a member of the party.
No. That one, you can direct that one to the administrators. Be fair to the organization. But like you rightly said, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of petitions, based on this. I was just thinking through. I said, his own candidate. If he so much loves Ghana and he so much has the interest of Ghana at heart, like you said, the intent, I'm sure the first petition should be on his own candidate. How his candidate managed to afford running around this country as an ordinary minister.
He says you can also petition.
No, I'm just making a point. Yeah. So there are petitions coming. I'm sure other citizens are also hearing and probably taking inspiration from him. And so I'm very, very sure in the next few days, his candidate would also have to go to the OSP to explain how he was able to afford the fuel and the vehicles that he moved across this country with. as a minister of state. Because looking at the salary that he earned as a minister, moving from just 2 regions could have dissipated all his funds. And all the vehicles that he branded, the posters, the t-shirts, I'm sure Solomon should also get busy to also try to at least explain to the Ghanaian people how he and his leader managed to. And I'm sure people are taking inspiration from him. As to the petition, I think it's just hot air. It's just hot air.
That your candidate was able to give 300 pickups.
Why? That's why I've explained to you that even me, if I want to get 300 pickups,
you can.
I can mobilize. Why? There's so many ways I can mobilize people and individuals. It depends on your worth.
Okay.
But that will leave that to the substantive matter.
Okay.
But we take inspiration from him. I'm sure in about 2 or 3 days, Solomon will probably be on air explaining to you how he and his leader, as ordinary minister, managed to afford moving across the country with all the V8 and all the fuel to campaign.
Okay. So we the banter and I say is in the petition mu challenge. What do I say? Petition mu Guinness World Records. No, also NPP anyway file. Na we accounter ya che say dey obia report no ho e de ma OSP say omunso intimate show mu din because so suspect say me papa say bi wakwaji schedule any also say akwaji schedule because kwankra dey charge ne papa say ono no we free say kululu ba mu because say ko itimi yes ka dey say campaigns ni ade toto ne amaboa party no we monso him say omunso e reasons to believe say wonso alankas no sikasem enka insese itimi do ko 16 regional tours file nominations near the sponsor one vision as a president. Into almost ebetimi afale a counter suit. Into we near Busia Ekoso ewo NPP any movement for change for Asway any etimi Eddie Honsem Amano. Make us a high Phoenix Media, Midi Eddie Seek and first time I know it me subscribe to channel no. 7 post video with me any update.